Good evening and welcome to Series 3, Episode 7. I always get it mixed up. We are doing our 41st show. I'm kind of tongue-tied tonight, I guess. I had to watch Sammy today, and we had some temper tantrums this afternoon, so...
Who, you or Sammy?
No, Sammy.
Oh.
Sammy.
You said we.
No, while he had temper tantrums, I was trying to deal with the temper tantrums.
Okay.
So I'm glad to be here tonight with Healthy Living with Marilyn, and I'm glad that you are all here. Welcome to my den. And I want to introduce my co-hostess with the mostest, Josie Hopkins, who's been with me since forever and ever. Thanks, Josie, for coming again. I appreciate it.
I appreciate
you. We don't get to see each other that much.
I know, we're overdue just for a lunch.
We are overdue,
or a brunch.
Yeah, for a lunch or a walk or something.
Well,
or a hot yoga when you're ready.
It's been cold outside, so, we
it
don't
was
come out.
Today.
Yeah.
You know, Sammy wanted to go outside. He started to put his jacket on. I was like, no, Sammy, Grandma's a fair weather kid. I do not go outside if it's raining. Now, I got to say, on Monday, when I saw Aubrey, and it was sprinkling a little bit, but it had stopped while I got there, we did walk in the rain.
She takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, she did. And I'm a fair weather person, but it started raining after we left. It was sprinkling.
Okay.
But it was just enough where I was walking fast enough to make it worth my while to get back to her studio. So if you're there, Aubrey, love you. I'm still walking.
Hey,
I've done some planks this week. I'm still doing planks. I'm getting better at them. Getting that core. So, and keeping the mindset, Joes. You know, that's important to keep the mindset. So this evening, this is the third week in a row that I have had a guy on my show. We've never done that, Joes. You know, and I'm so excited. The first week we had Dov Barron. Then last week,
Brian.
We had Brian Tucker, thank you. And tonight we have Greg Dow, who is an acupuncturist with Centered Richmond. His banner's right behind us. We shared banner space tonight. I thought that was pretty cool. Zen said we could do it, so I was like, okay, great. So he's down in Shockoe Bottom on 20th Street, which they were tearing up 20th Street on Tuesday.
They're always working on the streets down
there. Yeah, so... but Greg, thank you so much for coming and for being on my show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be here amongst professionals in health.
Thank you. And we have Alice here. She's the acupuncture lady. She showed everything on there is where Greg can put acupuncture points.
Not much room. There are very few void spots.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. On the legs over here, there's not a whole lot.
Pretty much everywhere else.
But I've been doing acupuncture. I'm back into acupuncture again, specifically because I have some issues that I'm trying to delve with my arm. And I've done a lot of other things, Reiki, energy healing, but doing the acupuncture really has opened it up. And that has really helped. So we're going to be talking about staying centered with acupuncture, because my experiences with acupuncture is when you have acupuncture, you're laying there on a table. You might as well do something to just stay centered, to get your mindset going so you don't get fidgety, to meditate, to connect all the acupuncture points that he has put in me. And when I get home, of course, I'm tired after that because I've done Reiki to get all the acupuncture points there. But it's so important to stay focused when you're having any type of treatment. It doesn't matter what it is. But I find it's really important for me to stay focused with the acupuncture. Really a lot.
You have to have a calm mind, because otherwise whatever procedure you're having done is not going to benefit you if your mind is chaotic.
That's right.
you know.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you're going to do some type of spiritual, natural healing, spend the rest of the day taking care of yourself. Right, Greg? It's so important to do that, because you want the procedure to work. You want it to work in your body. You want to get the benefits of it. You want to go home and make sure you drink plenty of water. My mom gets acupuncture. My mom's 89 years old. Yeah, and she gets, that is the one thing that my mother is constant about every week.
Awesome.
The only thing.
And did you turn her on to acupuncture, or was it the other way around?
No. We finally, my sister and I finally convinced her a couple years ago that she needed to go to an acupuncturist.
Okay.
And she says her acupuncturist has saved her life, which has been really, really good. But that's the one thing she does every Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. If she doesn't do anything else, that's the one thing that she does, is go to acupuncture.
That's amazing.
It is.
I love working with the older population also.
Yeah?
There's so much you can do to not only help with pain issues, but also prevent a lot of diseases like issues with declining your memory, digestive issues, just by getting your blood circulating and helping with digestive enzymes.
Yeah. He's got me... we're working on my digestion too, because that's, and boosting my metabolism. And he fixed some tea for me, some herbal tea, and I said, well, can I put some monk fruit in it, which is a sweetener, but there's no calories to it. No, Marilyn, he says, I put cinnamon in it, so, I don't want you to put any sweetener in it. It's like, oh, okay. Because sometimes Chinese herbs can taste a little bitter.
Right.
And I have found when I drink it, if I drink it within about 15 minutes, it's not that bitter. But if I let it go a little bit longer, it tends to get a little more bitter. Is that normal?
Yeah, I mean, I think that occurs with any type of tea, even, your
The
black tea.
Like what I'm drinking now.
Yeah, it's better to drink it hot.
Well, I do drink it hot. But sometimes it takes me a while to finish it. I mean, it's hard to drink. It's hard to drink hot tea. You got to let it cool a little bit.
So you sip on it.
Yeah, so I sip on it, but sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get it down. But I'm determined. And I don't know. I think it's making me feel better. The blue jeans I had on today, I didn't have to unzip them to take them off.
Okay. TMI.
Which means that they're... Well, yeah, but that means that I'm losing weight.
Yes.
That's not TMI.
I was picturing you.
Now that's TMI, girlfriend. That is
I'm
total
very visual.
Josie, that is way TMI. But, I didn't have to... I could just slip them on. I just should have probably said, sorry, guys. I just should have probably said I could slip them on.
Okay. But that's okay, though.
Okay.
Because,
Josie,
we're live. We're live. We're real.
And people might think that that's really good,
It is.
I mean, I think it's great that when you have a pair of pants on, that you don't have to wiggle like a snake to get in them. Come on.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, we measure our body's composition and our measurements by our clothes.
That's right.
You know when there's a change in your body by how your clothes fit you.
My mom said to me, she says, well, how are you looking now? And I said, because she's big on weight and stuff. And I said, Mom, my clothes are getting looser. Well, how much do you weigh? I said, only God knows how much I weigh. I'm not worried about
it's about having a healthy body.
I'm more concerned about being healthy, being able to digest my foods. And since I've been taking this tea, and I've only been taking it a couple of days, it has quelled my appetite.
I have to remember, I still have some tea from my last my last session because I didn't finish them all, and it just occurred to me I probably should get back on them. I don't know, would I need to do it in conjunction with my acupuncture, or can I do the Chinese teas anyway, anytime?
Well, there's a lot of things you can treat with plant medicine alone with the teas. Acupuncture is great for things like pain, for sleep issues, for anxiety. I get great results with people who have those issues, and they generally start to feel very relaxed during an acupuncture treatment. With acupuncture, your body is releasing endorphins, specifically enkephalins. So your body actually becomes very relaxed, and it's a natural opioid, so you start to feel a lot of pain relief during the treatments. But there are a lot of things you can do to make yourself a lot healthier other than just the herbs and the acupuncture.
Okay.
So looking at nutrition therapy is something I am big on doing, and looking at exercise therapy if it's necessary, and really incorporating other types of things like meditation and specifically Qigong.
Qigong, yes.
Yeah, because I do Tai Chi. And so that piece of it. But how did you get into,
how did you get into this?
acupuncture?
So that's kind of a long story.
We only have 50 minutes now.
We got time.
It's not that long of a story.
Go ahead.
So all of my life, I had experienced crippling anxiety. And this went undiagnosed because there's really just not a lot of public information in the schools, at least when I was a child, about anxiety, and the stigma of talking about your emotions as a man was kind of a thing. So this happened most of my life until I was in my 30s. I realized from talking to a professional that I do have generalized anxiety. So I went to the doctor, and like a lot of people do, and was given medications to take care of that, which didn't really help for me, and they actually caused some side effects with just feeling a little too sedated. And if you have to work, that's not really, it's not acceptable for me. So there's other things I tried. I tried cognitive therapy, just trying to work on why I was feeling anxious in the first place. But this whole process led me to try to understand why I was feeling anxiety and look into all these natural solutions. So I ended up taking a year off and traveling all over Asia to India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, all over Asia, and really learning all these different techniques like meditation from different temples, and learning yoga from yogis, learning different ways to heal the body natural, using plant medicine, acupuncture. And this is how I first experienced acupuncture, is in Asia, actually. And I got so much relief from my anxiety that it really made me want to read more about it. So I've spent the last 13 years reading about it, and eventually I ended up going to one of the top graduate schools in the country in Boulder, Colorado for this. So it was a 4-year college where I studied some of the things that the doctors would study, so the way the bones are arranged, the muscles,
anatomy and physiology,
the circulatory system, the nervous system, and really understanding the big picture of how everything is interconnected.
It's connected.
It's so fascinating.
It is. I've taken 4 or 5, 3 or 4 credit classes in my lifetime of anatomy and physiology. It's really important. And the thing about it is, when you start taking things like that, taking classes like that, you can really understand how the body works.
And your body benefits because when you treat it as a whole as opposed to sections,
right?
I believe my body and I are in tune with each other. And so, when I'm showing appreciation for it and for what it does, it responds.
Right. And as a holistic healer myself, I look at the whole body. And I know Greg looks at the whole body. We just don't he's not looking just at my digestive system. He looks at the whole body. He's just not looking at my arm. He's looking at everything.
We're one.
Yeah.
Right, and how things are functioning. And when I'm on the table, I don't know where he's putting stuff, but I can feel it sometimes, because I know when he puts it in and there's a little bit of a twinge, I know that I have an issue there, but it goes away right away, and I feel so much better when I come home.
Yeah, it's like opening up a faucet. You
get
and
it's
this
like
immediately.
Everything can flow.
Yeah, everything can start flowing, and that's what I like about it. So.
Yeah. So one example of how things are interconnected is, I'll treat a lot of headaches, actually, because I've had a lot of headaches myself in the past, and migraines can be just debilitating. I mean, it interferes with your ability to concentrate at work, to enjoy your family, to
do anything,
to sleep at night even.
Yeah.
So I had this one patient that was getting a frontal headache, and after sitting down and asking all these questions about what's going on with your health, your digestion, I determined that she was having some acid reflux that was causing this immune flare-up, and she was getting sinus issues, always getting all this mucus in her sinus.
The inflammation.
And eventually this caused some infections that was causing the frontal headaches. So I did acupuncture to relieve the pain in the head and the face, and then gave her herbal medicine to get rid of the acid reflux and stop that chronic inflammation. So really what happened is she was able to resolve the headaches completely permanently. And I wasn't just symptomatically treating her headache. I was treating her entire body. So she saw multiple symptomatic relief from all of those same things at the same time, because all those things are connected.
And like you said, when you insert an acupuncture needle and I would feel like a little twinge or something, but it would go away, I knew that number one, the acupuncture was working, but number two, it was like opening up the faucet. Okay, Marilyn, this is going to go away. You're not going to have a problem with this. He's also been helping me with my ankle, because remember in May I not only fell on my arm, but I sprained my ankle and then twisted and fell on my arm. So, you know, don't ask me how I did that. Judy said I felt like a football player, so, but it was very painful. And I'm working on hot yoga on some of the standing positions that we have to do, and I know that my ankle still is weak. So I have to be careful with that. And I'm also more careful about, because I'm more cognizant about taking care of my body, I mean even more so than beforehand, that I'm cognizant about how I'm sitting, how I'm walking.
You pay attention.
I'm paying attention, and it's so important, friends, to pay attention to how you move, right?
Absolutely.
Because if you're walking real fast, or if you're getting out of the car, you can pull something.
Oh, I know.
You
For
know.
years, I had a lot of challenges with my hip.
Yeah.
And so I could not get out of the car leg first. I always had to spin around so I could get up and stand straight up. And after a while, I've learned to just get up that way instead of putting full weight. But, you know, making adjustments, but also just honoring your body, because your body gives you the clues for
Right.
what needs
You
to
know,
happen.
I've told people, if you're going to get in the car, sit in backwards and
then swing around.
And get out the same way, because you can pull your hip. I dislocated my hip one time doing that. And my hips are not made right anyhow. So, you know, it helps you when you're doing something for yourself, when you're taking a treatment, whatever you're doing. It helps you to honor your body more, to stay centered, to stay focused and in sync with what's going on with your body. You know, like if you get acid reflux, okay, a couple weeks ago.
Do not take Tums.
No,
That
don't
is
take Tums.
not the answer.
That's
That would
not
weaken
It
your
is the
stomach.
worst.
Pepto-Bismol.
It
any
is
of
the
that.
worst thing.
Yeah, well, but I woke up when we had gone to, we'd gone out and met my other kids and grandkids, and it was my 2-year-old's birthday. He was 2. And they had free cookies at this place over at Short Punt Mall, and it's like, okay, they're free, I'm going to try them. That night I woke up with the worst acid reflux. It was burning, so the first thing I did was I took apple cider vinegar, and I forgot to add water with it, so I took it straight. Oh, yeah. Well, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't exactly functioning. But what was good about it, I followed it with some water, and it went away right away. But I know no more free cookies. No more free cookies.
You can't just take everything that everybody offers.
That's right. That's right. So, and these cookies were good, but
They weren't good for you.
no, they weren't good for me. And sometimes when you're eating things and they really taste good, they're really not good for you. You know, and Aubrey's been helping me with that. And speaking of Aubrey, I hope you're watching. If not, I hope you catch me on replay. She's got this fresh start for 2018, and this is awesome. She also does this virtually. She is a holistic personal trainer, and several months ago, I woke up in the morning, and I'm trying to exercise and do my thing, and my intuition said, you can't do this by yourself. So I hired her, and she's also one of my partners for Healthy Living with Marilyn. Want to thank you for that, Aubrey. She trains with a consultative approach to your health, fitness, and wellness. And she's very good about it. She'll talk to you about what you're eating, journaling your food. She'll go out and walk with you. Yes, she pushes you, but she pushes you to the point where she knows that you can go. And then she starts, motivating you beyond that. Probably not using the word pushes, right? But if you want to schedule a session with her, you can get in touch with her at richmond-wellness.com, or you can call her at 804-367-3589. She's down in the Fan on Robinson. So, and she also, if you don't live near us, give her a call if you want to touch base with her and just see if it will work with you. She does this virtually too, which is cool.
I like that.
You know, and I like that too. I need the one-on-one. You know, that's just what I need. But, you know, if you can do it virtually, she does it virtually, and I think that's really good. So, so what other types of people do you treat other than people who come in and, you know, I don't know how to walk, I fall, so.
Yeah. So to answer that, I have to talk a little more about the therapies that I do. I do a combination of natural potent plant medicine combined with acupuncture. And those two things combined can treat almost anything in the body, from urinary issues to chronic pain to issues with anxiety and sleep disorders. The biggest thing I'd say I treat in the office is back pain, headaches, knee pain, and then, of course, anxiety. Because of my own background, I've learned a lot of research about how to correct hormonal issues in the body with in natural ways without side effects with plant medicine and acupuncture.
What kind of plant medicine? What kind of plant medicine do you use?
Yeah, so it's different. It's actually different from each individual because everyone has such unique physiology.
Right.
So there could be a lot of things going on. So one example is the liver is involved in metabolizing a lot of hormones.
Right.
If you're not getting proper liver function, then you will start to get things like depression and anxiety. So we're looking at how well the blood is flowing through different organs like the liver, and you can do assessments by looking at the quality of the pulse and how the tongue looks, and looking at symptoms that really show up on the surface level, like the skin color, and looking at the ears. There's a lot you can tell without modern lab tests and expensive MRIs. So we start out by asking a lot of questions like that.
Yeah, it's a big thing I had to fill out. It takes a while.
But you're individuals, so you know.
Right, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
And really from that information, determining the root cause of whatever's going on in the body and coming up with a precise diagnosis and prescription of plant-based medicine for that.
So how do you
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. How and when do you incorporate cupping?
Oh, so cupping is interesting. I use this a lot for muscle type pain.
Yeah, on me.
Yeah. So this is what this looks like, and it's
Looks like a neat vase
yeah.
that you can put little flowers in.
I describe this as a deep tissue massage in reverse.
Yeah.
So it's sucking your tissue up into this cup. It comes up to your tissue comes to about right here.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When I had it done afterwards, it was in the summertime, and I went home, and my family was like, "What happened?" Because I had, you know, all the little circles. I looked like what's the backyardigans. But it was so much relief of the pain that I was experiencing. Now, when you're doing the cupping, are there different types of cupping jars that you use?
Yeah, I only brought these.
Do you do the flame and the whole thing?
We have both the flames and the pump kind. But yeah, there's different sizes. Some of them go on the face. Some of them fit on the neck, and they're important because a lot of issues like pain happen because you are not getting proper blood circulation in the body. So if you're getting stagnant blood, then you're starting to get friction and inflammation in the body, and you don't want that. Also, a lot of the healing mechanisms are in the blood cells. Things like macrophages are there to repair tissue. If you're not getting blood circulation, that's not going to happen.
Right.
So a lot of these people that are tense all the time, like me, I'm stressed out a lot, and I get upper body muscle tension. And what happens with that is you're not getting blood circulation through the shoulders, and you're starting to get other issues because your tight muscles are also inhibiting lymph node flow.
The lymph flow.
So you start to get backups of toxic chemicals in your body that you don't want. These are the people that start getting skin issues and red eye issues and sleep issues. And so we can help with that just by getting the blood circulating.
And so I immediately, of course, I'm thinking about the frozen shoulder that I had for a long time, which got relieved somewhat by chiropractic. But also, I know it's still there a little bit, and I can tell, would doing the cupping, because I know when I did the cupping before, I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was more on parts of my body, but lower as well.
Yeah.
Because I had fallen, and so no, it was a car accident, and so it was related to that.
Even worse.
Yeah, it was related to that. But when you're adding the heat, the fire to it, how does that change the cupping process?
The fire is just a simpler way to do it. The fire just sucks all the oxygen out of the cup, and then you take the fire out and set it down, and it sucks the tissue.
It's a vacuum?
Yeah, it's a vacuum.
He moves it on my arm, though. You know, he'll put it there, and then he'll move it, and you can feel. I can feel it being moved, and he puts it in another spot. Now, I have a question about that. How do you know where to move it on my arm? Is it just an intuitive thing that you know, or is it just looking at my arm, or?
It's just by palpating the different muscles, I can tell which ones are tense and where you might be getting stagnant blood based on the temperature of the skin. If you're getting inflammation, you can feel that on the skin level.
Okay.
But usually when I'm treating frozen shoulder or rotator cuff issues, I'm just looking at all the muscles that are holding that joint into place and trying to get those muscles to relax. That's the biggest reason for pain in the shoulder, is the muscles are just too tight and causing...
Well, the other thing is, God didn't make our rotator cuff so hot up in the shoulder here. You know, it's sort of just laying there. You know, do you agree with that? It's just sort of...
No, I wouldn't say God didn't make it.
Yeah, well, whoever, but it's just sort of just laying there.
It has a purpose, though.
I know, but I wish that my rotator cuff was a little bit more into my clavicle. You know, so...
Yeah, but if you think about gymnasts and people who are...
I am not a gymnast.
Yeah, they would not be able to move the way they move.
That's fine.
Right,
That's fine, but I'm not a gymnast, and I just like my rotator cuff up a little bit higher because I frayed my rotator cuff. We'll just bolt you down. We'll bolt you together. Yeah, that's why we need Alice here. This is Alice. This is our friend Alice. When Greg came in and I said, so what's her name? And he says, I don't know. So I said, we got to give her a name. So I gave her the name Alice, which ironically enough is my mother's first name, and it's my middle name, which I think is kind of funny. But
Alice, acupuncture lady.
Alice, the acupuncture lady. So, yeah.
So when you're working with the points, do they really correspond with reflexology and the meridians of the body, that those key points that you put the needles in?
That's a good question. It all depends on what I'm treating. If you were
going to treat frozen shoulder on Alice, where are you going?
So with a frozen shoulder issue, I'm really just working with the gross anatomy of the muscles. So the supraspinatus on the top of the shoulder here, and the infraspinatus, working with the subscapula, if that's tight, and really doing a lot of tests before I start to treat to really understand which.
He palpates the area. He just does not start putting needles in, acupuncture needles, you know. And I've been to other acupuncturists where they say, okay, what's going on? And I'll say, whatever. And
they just go for it.
And they just go for it and just start putting needles in. And then when he starts, I got to check your neck. And he's pinching up here. It's like, what's going on? You know. And it's because I feel that, and I love my other acupuncture friends, but everybody does it different. And I think Greg does it in a more...
personal to your individual body?
I think he's more direct in what he's doing. I guess that's the word I want to use, because he's more I can't think of the word.
What I hear you saying is that he is targeting your treatment according to your body, not just,
putting a needle in.
Right.
Not just looking
the ear
at Alice
corresponds
and say,
to this,
okay,
or
we got to
this,
put it here.
Right.
Right.
He's really paying attention to what your body needs and your specific body, as opposed to the fact that, the hand might be the head or whatever.
Right. And he's more I guess, astute at what's going on, because he's palpating the muscles, and sometimes he pinches them up here or whatever, and I got to check this, Marilyn, I got to check that. And it's like, okay, just check it. And I realize that there's some places where I'm really, really sore.
So from the point of initial consultation until you, what is your initial consultation like with someone?
Yeah, so the initial consultation is an opportunity for me to really get to know the person. It takes about an hour and a half in total with the treatment, and really I'll start out asking a lot of questions for about a 45-minute period, finding out about how the injury started, if it's pain or if it's something like a digestive issue, all these things that could be contributing factors to that. And from that information, I'll put together a treatment plan for each individual. And there is really a certain order that you need to treat a person. Like, again, what I was saying with the person that had the frontal headaches, you can address the symptoms of the headaches with the acupuncture, but it's really important to really address the symptoms of digestion as well. If someone is not really digesting the food that they're eating, then they're probably not going to be getting the most out of the supplements that they're taking and the herbs that I'm giving. So if I'm working on pain and they're not getting proper digestion, it might be a good idea to also address that so that the herbs would actually work on them. In other cases, maybe there's not proper blood circulation. I've had patients that had stuff like symptoms like rheumatoid arthritis, and they went to the doctor and got prednisone. And it worked for a while, and it stopped working all of a sudden. I did some tests and really determined that she wasn't getting proper blood circulation to her ankles. So just by using acupuncture to increase the blood circulation to her ankles, that's really helpful to get the medicine that you need to that area.
So how many sessions is it each? I'm assuming that it's going to be specified per person, but is there a minimum number of sessions that you require to get the best results?
Yeah, again, that would be different for each individual. I find for very healthy people like athletes, maybe they just have a sprained ankle or pulled muscle in general. Just by doing 4 or 5 treatments, I could heal that pretty fast if it's fairly acute. In other cases where there's a lot of inflammation going on in multiple areas of the body, there's a lot of muscles involved in causing that pain, maybe there's digestive issues, poor blood circulation, and this has been happening for years, it might take 10 to 15 treatments to resolve that. And I'm very upfront about how long it's going to take with that first assessment.
He is.
And if I'm not able to help someone and I see that, then I send them to another professional. I don't want to start to treat someone and then realize halfway through that this is not going to work for you.
Right.
Because I really look for a high success rate.
So what would cause it not to work?
There's certain things like pain, for example. There could be a fracture going on that we didn't know about. There could be complications with neuropathies that are coming from other parts of the body. I do treat a lot of neuropathic pain very successfully, but there are certain type of neuropathies that are hard to treat with acupuncture.
Okay.
A lot of
I'm
neuropathy.
making my mental checklist there.
Yeah, a lot of neuropathy, though, doesn't that have to do with the fact that somebody has a diabetic problem, the pancreas isn't working right?
Yeah.
So if you can work on their pancreas, would that also help with the neuropathy?
I can, yeah. I do treat type 2 diabetes fairly successfully.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, type 1, that's the one you're born with. That's a tough one to do.
I usually tell them to go to their doctor for that.
Right. But type 2, I am built like a type 2 diabetic. My mom is a type 2 diabetic, and I'm built just like her, you know. And when you're built with your core is big here, you have a tendency to have a sugar issue. So I've been very mindful of that recently. No more cookies, no more candy, no more, any of that stuff, because I know what it's doing. And the other thing is I don't want it to negate what Greg's doing for me.
Right.
So,
because you can't seek holistic treatment and still feed your body junk.
That's right.
You got to be in alignment all the way through.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I'm doing right now. So, and because I'm with Aubrey and doing that, I don't like huffing it out in the rain, but I do it because it's important. It's important to me. And I don't like doing planks. You know, and sometimes I don't like going to hot yoga, I'll be honest with you, but I push myself to go because I know it's therapeutic.
Yeah,
and I know it's a commitment. And I wanted to go after I went to see him, and I said, my intuition said, no, you don't want to do that. You just want to go home and go to bed. You know, so I didn't go to hot yoga.
So when you were talking about the neuropathies, I thought about, for instance, myself post-cancer treatments. I had a lot of blood clots during all of the...
Did you?
Oh, yeah. I had tremendous blood clots from the ports because I have very small veins.
Right.
And I even had a doctor puncture a vein in the process because he refused to adhere my doctor's advice and use a pediatric catheter. And he decided he wanted to use what he wanted to use. And in the middle of the process, all of a sudden, all I could hear was he was singing, "Follow the Yellow Brick Road, follow the Yellow," and all of a sudden he's, "Oh my gosh, she's a bleeder," and I look and blood is just like gushing out. But as a result of that, this entire side has constant pain, and so I'm always looking for new things to do, and I always believed that it was nerve related, and they kept saying, you know, well, all they would do is, we'll make a note of that. So,
yeah.
But I believe in the past acupuncture has helped, but I probably didn't do it long enough.
You know what else has helped me recently? Lisa, I went to see Lisa Hazelgrove earlier this week, and she's doing the emotion code, and she wanted to do an emotion code on me with at her house. So I went to her house, and we had this session, and there were a lot of things that were brought up, and I find this with acupuncture too. There are a lot of emotions that we suppress.
It releases.
That were brought up, and they were being released, and I feel that when I have the acupuncture, it's releasing stuff like, where did that come from, you know?
It frees your energy.
It does. So Lisa does the emotion code. She's also an adjunct professor. She's teaching sleep right now at U of R. But she asked me to talk about the experience that I had, and it was just very freeing. And then, of course, the next day I went to see Greg, so...
You were free-flowing.
I was free-flowing, yeah. It was good. So between that and the acupuncture, it really helped. So if you want to get in touch with Lisa, you can get in touch with her. You can email her at lisa@lisahealthy.com, and her phone number is 804-539-3251, and she'd love to talk to you about the emotion code and sleep, and because sleep is important. And if you're inflamed and you're not, you know, sleeping right, and you're under a lot of stress, especially if you're under a lot of stress. And I know you guys out there, you're saying, no, I'm not under stress. And some of you are saying, yeah, Marilyn, I'm really under stress.
Everybody has some degree of stress.
How are you handling your stress?
And
how are you handling it?
Yeah.
You know, it's really important because 90% of the people who go to the doctor, the Western guy, 90% of those people, the reason why they're sick is because they're under stress. And I bet a lot of the people that come to see Greg, they're sick, they don't feel good because they're under stress. Right, Greg?
Almost everyone. Yeah, like I'd say probably 90% of people I treat for things like pain and sleep issues, anxiety, these people are stressed out all the time, and they really don't have a way of managing their stress. And things that I'm seeing with the stress unmanaged are digestive issues, because when you think about it, you have two systems, the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. If you're always stressed out and ready for action, ready to deal with the stressors of the world, then your parasympathetic nervous system is getting inhibited.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're not digesting food, you're starting to get digestive issues, and
you're not eating right when you're under stress. It's the grab and go method. And that's not the way to eat. You know?
And then a lot of people, I was talking to my husband who recently retired, and he was meeting with some friends the other day because Dominion's doing downsizing now. And so there are people who are anxious about whether or not they're going to have a job. And one of his friends, you know, they were out for dinner, and the food just sat on his plate because he could not eat. You know, because all of his nerves of, will I have a job tomorrow? What will I do? I'm in my 60s, and, you know, I haven't prepared for not having this job. You know,
well,
it can have a
thing
major
is when
effect on the body.
When you're tense like that, you're not going to eat. You don't want to eat. It messes up your... I used to have that problem. When I was under so much stress, I didn't eat.
When I'm stressed, I eat junk.
Well,
I'm like potato chips, cookies, chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not in your healthy mindset.
Yeah,
when you're
no,
stressed.
you're
and I
not.
don't even
When you're
realize,
stressed
and I don't
out-
realize that I'm doing it. And I look back and I was like, oh my God, that was a whole pack of Girl Scout cookies yesterday, and now there are 2.
Yeah, yeah. You went on the seafood and eat it plan, girlfriend.
Oh,
You saw
those
food
cookies.
and you ate it.
And they weren't even the cookies
That's
that
why-
I liked.
That's why I don't buy them. That's why I don't buy them.
Yeah, somebody sent them home for my husband, and he
Yeah.
opened them up, and I took
I know,
care of
that
them.
would have been all she wrote. So, you know, I mean, my husband gets cookies, the generic brand chocolate chip cookies, and I don't like the taste of them, so he never ever has to worry about me ripping off a cookie of his.
Yeah.
Because to me, he likes them. He says it helps him with his immunity. You know, frankly, it's got to taste good for me to do the calories. You know, to really justify the calories. So.
That's
He can
me
have,
and oatmeal
you know,
raisin.
he can have his cookies.
As much as I won't eat oats, but I will tear up some oatmeal raisin.
Will you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'll
But I
remember
won't
not to
eat. But I
make
won't
any.
eat oats or oatmeal.
Really?
No, not anymore.
I used to
Me
eat
too.
oatmeal.
I'm a big fan of raisins.
Oh,
I like
yeah,
raisins too.
yeah.
I have a small box of raisins in my car. I've gotten back into eating raisins. They're good. They're high in iron. They're really good. You know, you can get those little boxes and just take them with you.
Yep.
I love them. I love them. So, but anyhow, so you have over there. You also have one of your acupuncture needles.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up on the camera. These needles are
Maybe Michael can zero in on it.
they're about the size of a human hair, but just
Yeah,
give
they're
you,
really tiny. And
If you got
normally
something
when
dark to put behind it.
maybe he put that behind it. Does that help, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make it teal.
Okay. Got it.
just
Yeah.
gives you an idea of how small it is. And
Yeah, they're really little.
all the needles we use are sterile, single-use needles, and they're again placed into certain points in the body that'll help with different things. So if I'm working on a muscle issue, I might be working on particular points in the muscle called trigger points to get the muscle to twitch a little. And what that does is it gets the muscle to relax. It goes from more of a contracted state to more of a relaxed state. You can get all the muscles are connected by fascia. So a lot of people will start to get referral pains from other parts of the body. I see this a lot with people that sit at a desk for long periods of time, and their glute muscles will become very tight, and then the flexor muscles will become very weak.
Yeah,
what
because they
happens-
forget to walk.
They forget to walk. You need to get up and walk around.
Yeah, like every 20 minutes to a half hour, you need to get up and walk. It is really, really important, right? Don't sit there.
So what will happen is you'll start to get referral pain from these tight muscles in the glutes all the way up to the back. And that's just one way you can experience back pain. That's why I have to start out with every patient asking a lot of questions, doing some muscle tests, and really determining the root cause, whether it's happening because of a nerve impingement or muscles that are tight or trauma caused by poor blood circulation. There's a lot of things that could be happening and different ways to address that through acupuncture.
Yeah, and when I do acupuncture, when I go and get an acupuncture session, I'm always put myself in a very quiet meditative state. Because I got to lay there anyhow, and I can't get up. So you might as well work on your meditation, work on your mindset, work on centering yourself when you're doing something like this.
And envision the process working.
Right.
You know,
Right. What I do
envision
is
yourself
I
receiving
envision
the healing benefits.
I envision connecting all the needles that he has in me and doing Reiki and connecting on them. Now, if you don't do Reiki, just envision you know, think of it as a road on your body. That's what I do sometimes. You know, just think of it as a road.
I mean, Alice has a beautiful map of her body.
Yes, she does. She has a beautiful map. It's pretty cool.
All the connectors.
You know, and sometimes when I go to the acupuncture, it's like, so they put the needle there but it's because it opens up all the energy for that particular area. And so, I mean, for me, acupuncture works. If you haven't tried it, I suggest you try it. If you're having an issue and you can't figure it out, or like with my issue, I mean, I could only go so much with some of my healing and, you know, my kinesiology tape and all that. I knew I needed it open. I knew I needed the energy open, the circulation going, because I knew it wasn't happening with what was going on. So, you know, and I try to inspire people and I try to get people motivated. And one of the things that I've been doing recently, I'm working on finishing my book, Joe's. I'm going to get it done by the end of March. It's called Be Amazing.
By
March 31st.
March 31st,
March 31st. It's called Be Amazing. And the subtitle is How to Stay Motivated to Get Results in a Fast-Paced World. So, Vishal, if you're watching, I know you're in Guadalupe. Vishal Majario, I went to a camp, Wild Book Camp, and he is going to do the forward for my book.
Very nice.
So it's really cool. Be coming out soon. I'll let everybody know, and I'll have a book launch.
Signing.
I don't know when. Pardon me?
Have you a book signing?
Yeah. We call it a book launch. So, yeah I will be doing that. So.
Beautiful. I'm looking forward to reading that.
It's a work in progress. I'm almost done with it. So, but Vishal said, you got to talk about your book on your show. Yeah, okay. I will do that. So I did that. So anyhow, yeah, I like the cover of it too. The person who did it, they did a really good job, and they did it within a couple days. So that was really cool. And the other thing is, John Marin, who owns Moonrise Marketing. If you're having problems with your website, you're not quite tweaking it right, you're having issues with it, you need to talk to somebody about marketing, you know, you have this business, how are you going to go forward? You can get in touch with John. His office number is 804-482-1826. His website is www.moonrise.marketing. I guess .com. He didn't have the .com on the end, but anyhow. So John can help people with their websites and their marketing, and you know, when you start a business, okay, I started a business, but where do you go from there? You know, I mean, I've had my business for, gosh, almost 10 years. This particular one, yeah, and I went on sabbatical 3.5 years ago, a little over that, to take care of my grandson who was born. Sort of went MIA, and then 1.5 years ago, I rebranded myself. So if you think you're too old to rebrand yourself, you are not.
If you still breathe.
If you can still breathe,
then there's
and you can still get up and put one foot in front of the other.
There's to be discovered.
Don't tell me that you can't start all over again, because I did it.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important to do something that you love.
That's right.
This is kind of what I get out of the word centered is I think of it as personal integrity. It's when your inner self is in an alignment with your external self. So in other words, you're not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. So using your skills and your passions, your dreams, things that you really get excited about every day, going out and sharing that with the world. I think that's what we're brought here to do.
Well, yeah, and, you know, I've been writing Be Amazing posts on my Facebook page for, 6 months now. Woke up one day and my intuition said, Marilyn, you got to start writing Be Amazing posts. That's where the title for my book came. And I said, okay, all right. And I never questioned my intuition. If you really want to open up your intuition, you can do it. We all have that intuition.
Just be still
we all
and
have
be quiet.
It's a feeling. You know, you can sit there and meditate. A lot of times I get the voice, the message right when I wake up in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so for me to get the message and do something about it, that's pretty good. But so I started writing Be Amazing posts, and I've had a lot of people say, "Thanks, Marilyn, for the post. It's really got me going." And I don't do it, to get all the comments and stuff. I do it because I want to help people. But in essence, it helps me get going during the morning.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Thanks so much for the post, Marilyn. I really appreciate it. You're doing a good job." It's like, I do it for me too, to keep me going, because I want to be amazing. Feel I'm amazing. Josie's amazing. Greg's amazing. Michael and Zen, we're all amazing in our own ways.
Yeah.
And
I am inspired, because there's so many things that inspire me. So it's whatever inspires me at that moment. I'm
That's right.
inspired.
That's right.
Because I'm Josie's inspiration.
That's right. And, I'm Be Amazing Marilyn. So that's why I do it. I do it because it helps me. I mean, I've had dark parts of my life. I think everybody has. I didn't make it this age, not to go through some dark areas in my life. You probably have too. How long have you lived in Richmond? You haven't been here that long.
Nope, I just moved here from Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, so...
About 3 months.
3 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, he's a newbie.
Oh,
he's a newbie.
nice.
And how
Welcome.
can people get in touch with you?
You can call or best to email me at greg.dow@centeredrichmond.com.
Yes, and this is his really neat... We're sharing banner space today. So this is their banner, the Centered Richmond. It's a really nice place down there. I like it. It took me almost 55 minutes to get there on Tuesday. I was running late because of the traffic. But it's okay. It's okay. Greg was real good about it. But it's a nice place. When you walk in, you get that aha moment. There's not a lot of stress. It's like I feel the energy, and it's like, okay, it's just time to relax. And I think that's really important when you're doing for you. You got to stop and get off the rat race. You got to close your electronic equipment, put it in sleep, put it away for the day or something.
And you have to love yourself enough to take the steps to
That is the trick, loving yourself. How much do you all love yourself? What are you going to do tomorrow to make your life better? What are you going to do? Are you going to step out of your comfort zone? I talk about that. Stepping out of your comfort zone is so important, because when you step out of your comfort zone, that's when you feel the success. That's when you start feeling success. But loving yourself. When I had the acupuncture a couple days ago at Greg's, I came home and I went to bed. I took a nap. It's like, I'm doing for me today. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to stay home and rest the rest of the day.
Yeah, I've been doing a presentation on creating your own Serenity Sanctuary. We've been doing that with one of my training calls, and just creating that environment where it's serene, where it could be essential oils, it could be candles, but quiet space, to find that time just to decompress and unwind. And if we can find that, and people think, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, you overthinking it. You have you.
That's
and it
right.
can be wherever you are. For me, it's anything outdoors. That's the first thing I want to do every morning, is go outside onto my screen porch. If it's snowing, if it's raining, I'll put my hat and coat on and go sit outdoors in my rocking chair. And
you're the woman. I'll tell you're the woman.
It's enclosed, but it's a screen enclosure. But I'm not
so
in
it's
the
still
elements.
cold.
Yeah, it's still cold. Yeah, but there's something about that fresh air and just breathing.
What did your dad say about that?
Oh, my dad said that he always wanted to be the first one to breathe in the morning, breathe the fresh air. He wanted to breathe the air before it got polluted, before everybody was breathing it. And so I think that's where I get that from. So it's like when I come down the stairs, even in my jammies sometimes, I'll just open the door and stick my head out and breathe, and then shut the door. And then I'll go out in the back later on. But something about the fresh air of nature, I just want to be in tune with nature. That's what inspires me.
That's awesome.
That's my foundation.
What inspires you, Greg?
I'm inspired by helping people. We are in business to give people their lives back. That's what we do every day, is helping people with issues like the issue that I had with anxiety and trying to, these people this is such a obstacle in their life that they can't do what they love to do. I love to do more athletic things like running.
Do you run?
Yeah, I do run.
You can do the marathon, Richmond Marathon?
Have you done a marathon or anything?
I haven't done that in a while. I'm 40 now, so I have to.
Never too late. You're still
Never
young.
too late. I am 65, and I'm training right now for my first 5K that I haven't done in a long time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I'm going to do it. And in the fall, my goal is on my bucket list to do a 10K. So.
But if people that have goals like that and they have issues with pain or they want to do something and they have anxiety and that's getting in the way of their goal, that's really exciting for me to help them get past that so they can go out and do what they love to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's good because I'll need help for that. Thanks, Ann. I'll need help for that when I'm getting into the training now.
And you'll need help afterwards, too.
Well, I know that. I know. But I need, years ago, I guess it was in 2003. That was a long time ago. Oh, my gosh, that was 15 years ago. My daughter and I ran a race. It was the Komen race the day before Mother's Day. And I have bad knees. My knees have been bad for a long time. And I didn't totally blow them then like I did a couple years ago, but they were bad. And I ran with
knee brace?
Knee braces on my knees. Now, they weren't braces with metal in them or anything, but they were like the Ace bandage braces with the hole where your kneecap was. I was determined to run that race, and my goal was an 11-minute mile. And how old was I again? I was 50. You know, so to run an 11-minute mile, and I did it. And the great thing about it is, at that race, and I hope they still have that for this race this year, the last place when you turn the corner to get down to the finish line, it's all downhill. And man, I just tore off and just ran straight downhill. And it was so exhilarating because I made it, you know. And that's my goal this year, you know, to make an 11-minute mile. I'm 15 years older, but I know I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, I can do it. Because I've got that mindset, and it's important to get that mindset. I get the mindset of taking care of myself all the time, but really taking care of myself now. I'm really, really focused on that right now because
you only have one body. You
that's
can't
right,
send it
and
back.
I'm investing in myself right now.
Can't send it back. You can't get a newer model.
No.
You know. And your body wants to love you, but you got to love it first.
You can fix your model to get a new model.
Oh, yeah, but you can't trade it in.
No, you can't trade it in.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's nothing wrong with the one that you got.
Right, and the other thing is wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. Your health is such a good investment.
Yeah, it is. So invest in yourself. If you're achy, if you're anxious, if you're stressed out, if you have headaches that are unexplained, and you just can't get rid of them, give him a call, get in touch with him, email him at greg.dow, his last name is Dow, spelled D-O-W, at centeredrichmond.com, right?
That's right.
Oh, I did it. I'm
Very
so good.
good.
I'm so good. I remembered that. So, do
and
for
the address
you.
again is
yeah,
where?
what's the address is
20 North 20th Street.
yeah, it's real easy to
that's
remember.
easy.
Isn't
Yeah.
that easy?
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's between Broad and Main. There's a couple streets in
and you
between.
said it's right behind?
Right behind the Allen Poe, Poe
The-
Museum.
Yeah,
Poe
right behind the
Museum.
Poe Museum.
Poe Museum, which is a perfect location, right overlooking the park.
Right.
That used to be one of my favorite outdoor spots. I still go up there
Do you?
sometimes and just kind of look over the city where the RVA studios used to be.
Well, I had to park 3 blocks away on Tuesday, so I walked. So
Yeah, I was going to say, parking down there can be a challenge.
it can
It
can
is,
be.
yeah.
But I look at it this way. If I have to even park on Broad or Main or whatever, I'm getting exercise. So, and that's important. That's important to me because I need to get more exercise, and that's what I'm incorporating into my daily routine. Now, the past 2 days I had to watch Sammy, so getting my exercise
great
was
exercise.
running after him for
Yep.
2 days.
And so, Marilyn, next week, you're not here. We're not here.
No, we're not going to be here. I'm going to be in San Diego next week, so we will not have a show, but I will be doing something from San Diego. I don't know what time, but I will be
Okay.
doing something. So stay tuned
You
next
should
week.
do Marilyn. You should do Healthy Living, Healthy Marilyn on the road.
I could do that.
Healthy Living Marilyn on the road.
Yeah.
Say hi to my brother there. He lives there.
Oh, does he live there? Oh, wow. Yeah. So I will be in San Diego, and
And you'll be back on the 15th.
And I'll be back on the 15th, yes, for another show.
And I'll be back on the 29th.
And you'll be back on the 29th. So I'm going to have a couple other, yes, Xenophon, I know, dear, I know. I'm going to have a couple other people taking her place. And
no, they'll be filling in. No one takes my place.
Nobody, that's right.
I'm irreplaceable.
Yeah, I know you're irreplaceable. But taking her place and filling in for her, and we will see you not next week, but the following week. I want to thank everybody for, yes, Xenophon, I know. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on Healthy Living with Aaron. Thank you so much, Greg, for being our guest tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. And thank you, Josie, again. I'm going to miss you, but we'll keep in touch.
See you in 3 weeks.
That's right. That's right. And we'll see you soon. Be amazing.
Be amazing.
Bye-bye. Cheers.